What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about One Piece Odyssey. The demo is out. The game's coming out in about 2 days, but the demo's out now. I went ahead and played through it, and let me tell you, I had some fun. Right off the bat, I think I'm going to like this game more than World Seeker. It's got some quality of life changes, some things that I really want to see in World Seeker that we finally got here, and I'm excited to see how far they go with it. Now, the demo only gives us a glimpse of the story, but it sounds like the Straw Hats have ended up on an island of major importance because not only does Robin know about it and know there's a huge treasure here, but the Gorosei are keeping close tabs on the island, and they keep referencing sending somebody to this island to deal with it. Who the person is, I'm sure we're going to learn about it in the story, but as of now, we're not entirely sure who they're trying to send there. The cinematics are clean. I really like the style of animation. I like the look of the models and the characters. I think they did really well on that kind of stuff. Like if you look back to even like World Seeker, I think is still pretty good. This is better than that. And it's a different style. So it's not like the cell shaded style. It doesn't have like the Pirate Warriors look to it. It has its own kind of, I guess, animation and design. And I think that comes across really well. There's even things like in the game where the character models have certain quirks or things like that that just feels really polished. I think if you took the time to look at each of the character models, you're going to find that they're actually pretty detailed. They look really nice. They put the character quirks in each one. I think they did a really good job on that. Some models are not made equal. Some are really solid models. I'm telling you, you guys gotta check it out. Now, the biggest difference with this game compared to like the other One Piece games is that it's turn-based. So combat happens between a select amount of characters and a select amount of enemies. So if you play something like Persona, you'd be familiar with that kind of gameplay. Now, as far as I know, One Piece hasn't done turn-based strategy in any kind of its games. So this is a welcome change. I do love turn-based, so that's immediate plus for me. And the combat system feels really good. I mean, it's not too complicated, not too intricate. There's a simple system of, weaknesses, strengths, resistance. There's an elemental effect to it. They kind of have a very, very clear-cut, very set way of combat. And of course, you can just charge right through it. You can just fight however you want to fight. But obviously, some ways are going to be easier to fight with. Outside of combat, travel is pretty straightforward. I mean, there's not a whole lot to where you can go. It's pretty linear in that regard. And again, that's pretty similar to how most JRPGs are. You have a seemingly open world, but the field you travel is very narrow. You're going down a straight path, pretty much. Going from A to B. Sometimes there's a C, sometimes there's a D path. Sometimes it forks off, but a lot of the times you're going from just A to B. Now, I do wish some of the pathing and the way you moved was a little bit cleaner. They have the system where Luffy pretty much stretches to different spots to pull him across paths, and I think that, obviously that's been the method of Luffy's traveling for most of the games. If there's ever a point where Luffy needs to get somewhere, or we as a character need to get somewhere, they have Luffy stretch. They pretty much have him do a Spider-Man. But I feel like the way they have it done here is too quick. There's not enough animation to it. Like you see a spot, Luffy reaches to it and he snaps over and the camera doesn't really adjust to how you're looking. It just feels really clunky. Now, the two main characters outside of the Straw Hats are Audio and Lim. They both appear to have some kind of powers, and while they mention they're not fully aware of what devil fruits are, I still suspect that they are devil fruits just because we have things like in Wano where when people don't know what devil fruits are, they attribute to something else. For example, in Wano, it's strange magic. And here they say it's some kind of magic possibly relating to the cubes. And while that's definitely possible, I think it's more likely that there's a devil fruit involved that brought about the cubes that kind of work in the same way. We don't get to learn too much about the characters. Audio seems kind of like a free-spirited, just fighter. Nothing too deep on that. Lim, on the other hand, seems to have some disdain towards pirates in general, probably from being attacked multiple times, but Lim, on the other hand, seems to have a disdain for pirates, and that's kind of her big character trait. And that's why she kind of acts the way she does, is why she ends up taking everyone's unique abilities and putting them in the cubes. Which, to point out, that's probably going to be a big feature of the game, is collecting those cubes and getting your powers back. Now, the whole cube system kind of generates what the characters can do, how strong their powers are. So as you go on through more areas, you have to collect more of these cubes and assign them to different characters. Now, something I absolutely love about the game, like, it's so far my favorite feature, and I think it's going to be my favorite feature going forward, is that you can basically play as any of the Straw Hats. So each area allows you to switch between different characters that have a leader. And that leader is the person you walk around with, you interact with the world with, and you're able to change that through. So far, what I'm seeing is just all the Straw Hats. I doubt you're going to be able to change into anybody else, but there are mechanics to have other people in your party. For example, if we run into Ace during this game, we're probably going to have the chance to have Ace in our party, but we won't be able to use him as a main character. And the character swapping is where I think some of the best polish in the game comes from, because you can see as you play as different characters, if you navigate as different characters, they actually put some like nice touches on how characters interact with things. For example, when you're playing as Robin, who I'm probably going to play as for most of the game because it's Robin, but when you play as Robin and you open a chest, she uses her devil fruit to open the chest. Doesn't even lean down and pick it up like some other characters do. Literally just opens it with her powers. Other examples include how they travel through like different leveled obstacles. So Robin grows pretty much a link of arms that pull her up. Sanji ends up skywalking up the wall, and Luffy stretches. I think Chopper just hops up. Each character kind of has their own feel to how they get around, which I think is really important. I think that, as small as it sounds, I think that's really understated, because being able to do that, being able to have that slight freedom, being able to use the characters that way, I think it adds a lot to the game. Something I really wanted in World Seeker was to be able to switch between the Straw Hats, because we had this huge world and we could only navigate with Luffy. And it's like, I want to be able to move around with everyone. Now, something I do want to see in the full game is something similar to a hub world. I want a open space that isn't so linear, it isn't so A to B, that we can walk around and explore. Whether it be like a town, or there'd be an island. I want it to be just a huge area, kind of just an open area for us to be able to walk around and explore. I think that would be really nice. I think that'd be really fitting. And I think that would be a good rest point for, like, if you just want to load up the game and you kind of just want to walk around or explore a little bit. You don't necessarily have to, go into a random spot and then travel A to B and then fight all the monsters. You can kind of just be in the game. I think that'd be really nice. I also want to see more with the character control. At this point in time, it seems like a lot of the more intricate travel depends on Luffy. So if there's a giant gap, you probably have to use Luffy to stretch. I want to be able to use Sanji and Skywalk. I want to be able to use Robin and use her wing. Be able to change things up a little bit. Now, obviously, they're not going to make too many things that every character can use, because I think that takes a lot of programming, and I doubt that they did every single piece of that. But if they added a few different ways to get around, I think that'd be really cool. Yeah, if you guys got the demo and played it, if you're going to get the game for real, let me know in the comments down below. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.